Welcome to the Life Skills Mastery channel. Today, we will explore a very interesting and useful topic for learning and memorization: the method of remembering right after learning. If you struggle with remembering what you learned after each lesson, or if you want to find ways to improve your memory and learning efficiency, this video is for you. Before we dive into effective memorization techniques, let's address a common issue in learning: the tendency to forget immediately after studying. Have you ever finished a lesson, felt like you understood it perfectly, but just hours or a day later, you begin to forget the material? Even after a few days, you can't recall anything at all. This can leave you feeling frustrated and discouraged. But don't worry, you're not alone in this. The question is, why does this happen? The simple but important answer is, when we study without reinforcing the material, it doesn't get stored properly in long-term memory. As a result, it's easy to forget what we've just learned, no matter how hard we study. It's not that we lack the ability to learn, but rather that we haven't applied effective learning and memorization methods. Today, we'll explore ways to stop forgetting after studying by using some highly effective techniques. So how can we learn and not forget immediately? In this video, we'll explore 5 study methods that help you remember right after learning. These techniques are simple but extremely effective, allowing you to reinforce knowledge right after absorbing it and helping your memory last much longer. UEYC 1. Repeat immediately after learning. One of the simplest and most effective ways to remember is to repeat what you've just learned right after finishing the lesson. Why repeat immediately after learning? When you repeat the information right away, you help transfer it from short-term to long-term memory. This process strengthens the information in your brain, making it easier to remember. Practical example: after reading a lesson or listening to a lecture, spend 5 to 10 minutes asking yourself the key points of the lesson and try to answer without looking at the material. This will help you check your understanding and naturally reinforce the information. 2. Summarize the content right after learning. 4 minutes. After studying, a great way to reinforce knowledge is to summarize what you've learned. How to do it? Spend a few minutes writing or speaking about the main points you've learned. This helps you grasp important information and ensure that you've understood the key concepts correctly. Benefits: this not only helps you recall what you've learned, but also helps you identify concepts or issues that you haven't fully understood and improve them immediately. Summarizing also helps you highlight important points that may need review later. 3. Apply immediately in practice. After learning new knowledge, the best way to remember is to try applying it right away. How to do it? Find ways to use what you've just learned in work, life, or solving an exercise. When you apply it immediately, the knowledge becomes more vivid and easier to remember. Example: if you learn a math formula, try solving a few problems to understand how to use it. Or if you learn a soft skill, try applying it in a real situation. This not only helps you remember, but also deepens your understanding of how to use the knowledge. To teach someone else. A great way to reinforce knowledge is by explaining it to someone else. This not only helps you remember, but also helps you understand the topic more deeply. How to do it? You can teach your friends, family, or even write a blog, create a video, or give a presentation about what you've learned. When you explain to others, You have to organize the information in your mind and clarify the points you haven't fully understood. Example: after learning a lesson, try teaching it to a friend or someone else to check if you've really understood the material. This is an incredibly effective learning method because you have to present the knowledge clearly and coherently. 5. Use spaced repetition. This method is a smart review technique that helps you remember long-term. How to do it? Instead of reviewing all the information immediately after learning, you review it after a certain period. For example, you can review it the next day, 3 days later, a week later, and so on. Benefits: this method strengthens memory and prevents forgetting what you've learned. You can use spaced repetition apps like Anki or Quizlet to support this. Reviewing with intervals helps your brain recognize the information as important and worthy of long-term storage. Recap of the 5 methods. To help you remember right after learning, here are the 5 main methods. 1. Repeat immediately after learning. 2. Summarize the content. 3. Apply immediately in practice. 4. Teach someone else. 5. Use spaced repetition. Try applying these methods to your studies and see the difference they make. You can start by picking one method that feels easiest for you and apply it today. Don't hesitate to experiment and adjust these methods to fit your learning style. Thank you for watching the video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Skills Mastery so you won't miss any new videos. If you have any questions, leave a comment below the video and I'll answer them for you. See you in the next video. Wishing you effective studying and better memory.